Bible. All right. And we're gonna go into a lesson concerning the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, we're gonna do three, which consists of Judah, Zebulon, and Issachar. All right. But before we go into our lesson, we want to start off by giving all honor, glory, and praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Waha, Rawchaa, Qadash. All right. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well for teaching us the truth. And salutations to the hopeful elect, man. All right. SHALAWAM. So we're going, like I mentioned in the introduction earlier, we're just gonna go ahead and do a brief overview, discussing three more of the 12 tribes of Israel as we did in the previous video. So Lord's willing, this will be edifying to the brothers, and the sisters watching as well. All right. So that way, Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans can be able to identify yourselves, with the scriptures as well as the spirit. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and read, and the brother Shamash one is gonna break it down. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49.
Hey, Salah, verse 1 and jump down to of course, verse 8.
Okay, Khan. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 1. It says, "And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days."
So you know what we talked about this before, right? But the last days represent future prophecies, right? Really, the last days began with Yahawashi when he came on the scene, and right now, when you can see through looking at the world, both through measuring the time diligently, using the measuring stick, which is the scriptures, right? You can see that we're at the end of the end. Right? So what we're getting into, these are various things, certain things, happened already, but these are basically certain historical information and prophecies that will kind of allow you to, figure out who's who, basically, without getting too deep, brothers add on to, anything else that.
It's all through the spirit, and just to quickly mention that word befall, when you go into it, it means to encounter, right? That word befall means to encounter. So that's talking about all of the, the prophecies, the future prophecies, which the tribes, the sons of Jacob shall meet in the latter days, as the brother Shemashwan was going into. Right. So we're going to jump down to verse 8, Genesis 49 and 8. It says, "Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee." Go ahead, Al.
All right, so Judah, right, as we know, Judah is so-called Negroes, right? And the way you say it in the Hebrew is Yahawah, which means Yahweh give thanks, right? Because you have the Yahweh, and then you have the water. It's a combination of the two. Right. And when you see here, right, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise, right? Judah was the ruling tribe. Right. So Judah was the head ruling tribe. Now you have certain things we may or may not get into it. Ephraim was given the birthright, but Judah was given the rulership. And that was actually the cause of like a lot of the division between Judah and Ephraim, that which really still playing out today, but doesn't occur in this truth, between the hopeful elect, because we know better. Right, thy hand shall be in the neck of thy enemies, right? And that would prove that we'll be here in North America, right? Who is our enemies, right? You got to go to Psalm 83. Our enemies are Esau. Well, Esau is the top enemy in the rest of these nations. Elam, Ammon, Moab, so on and so forth. So, thy father's children shall bow down before thee, right? Starting with these Edomites, man. They're gonna be the ones to bow down to us. We can get that. We don't really gotta get that. I'll just say they'll mention it when you read into Obadiah towards the end. It talks about how Judah shall not Judah. It doesn't say exactly Judah. They say they of the south shall own the mount of Esau. All right, so that land where Esau actually was originally, we're gonna own that land, of course, with the rest of the world.
Yeah. When it says thy children, so bow down to this, it's really talking about all the tribes, because Judah is the head tribes, but the brothers right. All the nations will bow down to Yahawashi, because the scriptures say what's that, Revelation 2, that Yahawashi said have that scepter. All right, and brother and the others precept. We ain't gonna grab all of them though. But
exactly.
to come bending down unto thee. your enemies should be bending with their face down to the ground. What you think that's talking about? It's really going to start with Yahawashi, because he has to get his first lick on these nations. He has to bring down Esau first. Then we get our turn. But it all starts with Yahawashi. He's coming to take down the nation. And also, before we jump any further, oh my goodness, man. How you doing? All right. Before we get any further, check this out. We know that Leah had Judah, right? We could have tied it in with Genesis 29 and Genesis 29, like I believe the second to last verse or whatever. And also a brother could grab for Shamash one right quick before we move any further to prove that Judah is the head tribe. Let's grab Isaiah 48:1 and also Psalm 76:1. You can start with Isaiah 48:1 first.
God, I went ahead and got Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 48, verse 1. It reads, "Hear ye this, O house of Jacob, which are called by the name of Israel, and are come forth out of the waters of Judah, which swear by the name of the Lord Yahawah, and make mention of the power of Israel, but not in truth nor in righteousness."
Right, and that was the point. We come from the waters of Judah, and who was the first spirit created, which is all in the spirit, even before the elements were created? Judah. Yahawashi was that first spirit created, so he's got to get the respect. He's got to have the respect. We come out of all the tribes are gonna. It's not saying that the Most High doesn't like or love all the tribes, but Judah is that main tribe that he established to be that the primary tribe, and that's the tribe that Yahawashi comes from, Hebrews 7:14, and also brother right quick to Psalm 76:1. Now the name of the Lord is in the tribe of Judah. How do you say Judah in the Hebrew? Yahawah, though, which the brother broke down.
Right.
That's important to bring out too, because that proves to you that the name of the Lord, the Heavenly Father, capital Lord, is Yahawah. In a dialect, the brother broke down is short for thank. So that's another way to prove that the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahawah. I mean, Yahawah.
If I can add to your point, going into how Yahawashi he gotta lay hands on Esau Edom first. You can read about that in Ezekiel. I mean, it's a few scriptures. We're not gonna be all over the place, but in Ezekiel, the 25th chapter, it says, Ezekiel 25:12, it says, "Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because that Edom," talk Esau Edom, the red man, the red nation, have dealt against the house of Judah. Notice it mentions Judah first. It mentions Judah first, right? It says, "By taking vengeance, and have greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them." Yeah, that's why you got the infamous story of the so-called blacks coming over to the Americas. All right, and the so-called Negroes, they received the worst treatment, like Yahawashi when he was on the scene. Any melanated persons, which it's primarily talking about Israel. We received the absolute worst treatment. We received the absolute worst treatment, man. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi,
That too, because Esau remembers the wound. He remembers that struggle.
Yep.
So, and forget, Jacob wasn't the color of Jacob, also too, because he's Yahawashi or the tribe of Judah or the Israelites were all dark-skinned back then. So that pisses Esau off too, and that's how you know that he still has that hatred for us now, because he wants to be like us. He wants to be like all the tribes, but he wants to be mainly like the tribe too. That's why they get melanin shots and all that, melanin shots to look like something they're not. Tanning salons. It all goes back to the war with Jacob and Esau, all the way from the beginning too, even with Cain and Abel. So you got we put all of this together. It makes perfect sense when you put it all together.
That's right.
Go ahead. What's your point?
I got Psalm 76 on deck. I'll just go ahead and bring that out real quick.
You got
Psalm 76:1. It says, "To the chief musician on 𝐤𐤄𐤅𐤄, a psalm or song of Asaph. In Judah is the Most High known. His name is great in Israel." Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, and Judah is the Most High known, right? The Heavenly Father's name is in the tribe of Judah. No, it's really in the Israelites, but the Heavenly Father's name can be found in the tribe of Judah. That's how you know it's talking about, the so-called blacks here, because we're going to go into color scripture. We're going to tie that in too. But you don't hear these Amalekites or Khazars call on Yahawah. Do they do that? Come on, be honest. I never heard not one of them say it. I watched the interview on YouTube one time. There was this Edomite that went over there to interview these Amalekites, and it looked all perplexed and puzzled, like, what kind of question you asking me? Like they didn't understand, like the do you know that the real Jews are black? And he told them that. I did a video a while back. Do you know that the real Jews are black? They look like puzzled, like they're bewildered, like, you know, they've been lied to, man. A lot of them, the Edomites, the Amalekites, don't even know who the hell they are. That's a damn shame. Those lesser Edomites.
Yep. Esau shit on his own kind, man. You know? I got a scripture to back you up too, to add to
you don't hear those fake calling on Yahawah. That was,
huh?
You don't hear those fake Jews calling on Yahawah. That was the point.
Right. Because they can't. They wasn't blessed to even comprehend the intricacies of the name of the Heavenly Father, man. You know, they wasn't. Huh?
Speak. I got you. I'm just saying. Malachi 1:14.
Khan. Yeah. But my name is dreadful among the heathen, man. You know. Let me get this in the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 21. As a matter of fact, I might be able to start a little bit. Yeah, I'll just get to the point. Exodus 23 and 21, it says, beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. And there it goes again. That's talking about Judah. Ultimately, Yahawashi, because he's the first fruit of the brother. He's the brother among brethren, right? Then it says, verse 22, but if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine enemy, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. So going into the scripture that the brother Shemashon was breaking down, you know what I'm saying about thy hand should be in the neck of thine enemies. That's a future prophecy, you know, because all the movements of Israel, it always starts with the southern tribe, man. You know, it always starts with the southern tribe. But what? The scriptures say, what? My name is in him. So Yahawah is dealing with Judah first, you know? Judah is the principle of Israel.
Also, yeah, like the Black Panthers, to name a few, Black Liberation Party, the Black Panthers, you had the Malcolm X's. It all started with the tribe of Judah, especially in the late 60s, early 60s. And that's when Abba Bivens also came on the scene in the early to late 60s. So you see how all that ties in? Like the Lord setting this up. Right, we're going to go into that too. We still got to go into that precept in Genesis 49 about Judah, you know, being that lion. Where's that precept that says that Judah should be in the midst of the Gentiles?
You said Judah shall be in the midst of the Gentiles?
Yeah, Micah chapter 5 and verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles. Hold on. Shall be among the Gentiles in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of sheep, who, if he go through, both tread it down and tear it in pieces, and none can deliver.
That's right. That's right. And that's exactly how Southern Tribe is going to be. As a matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and bring it out, just to land back up for the brother's point. I'll read it, Shemashwan, you can break it down. This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 9. It says, Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Go ahead, Al.
All right, so Judah is a lion's whelp, right? From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, right? As an old lion, who shall rouse him up? So right now, the tribe of Judah, I'll say right now they're starting to be roused up a little bit, but Judah in history, they started to become more pacified. Esau has succeeded in pacifying the tribe of Judah, right? Well, for the most part, besides the hopeful elect, of course. Right, when Judahites, they don't, well, I'll call them so-called Negroes because they don't know who they are, right? They don't know who their enemies are. They went to college and then becoming police officers. They don't, they're not accepting that Esau's the enemy. They're having that kind of, oh, you got to get along kind of spirit. They lost hope, and who shall rouse them up, right? Well, the Lord's going to rise them up. Now it's twofold, right? He's rousing up the hopeful elect with the truth, right? And did you already go into Zechariah 12:7? Kaya, what was that precept you read before again?
That was over there in whatchamacallit. I think I bought out the one in Exodus, the 23rd chapter. But somebody could, as a matter of fact, Brother Yeshai, you could go ahead and grab Zechariah, Baba Kushah.
God.
Yeah, I bought out the one in Exodus, and the brother 𝐉𝐄𝐅𝐄 bought out Micah the 5th chapter.
A precept to back the brother too, but bring it out.
God.
Why they about some Yahawashi? God.
Which one was it? Zechariah and which chapter?
12 and stuff.
God. Zechariah chapter 12, verse 7, and it reads, Yahawah also shall save the tents of Judah first, that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem do not magnify themselves against Judah.
That's right.
That's right. And how the Lord saved the tents of Judah first, right? Through Abba Bivens, right? And he was a so-called black man, right? He was starting to bring out the truth, right? And then that was Judah being rose up first, and then over time, as things progressed, and the other tribes start to join in as well. We kind of dropped that whole black-only Israel thing as the truth, magnified and grew more and more. That's why elders and apostles say, Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Kabar, Aramlab, Elder Apostle Rawchaa, let's talk about how we have 100% of the truth. Because now that spirit has rose up, and now we know that, hey, the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, we know all the tribes, we got it all down now.
That's right.
Through the spirit.
Yeah.
But that's Judah being saved first. If everything starts with Judah, everyone wants to be like Judah. You got it.
Also, I want to back you up in John 7 and 35, when Yahawashi went to the tribe of Judah first, they denied him. He said, since you deny his truth, I'm going to go to the Israelite foreigners, right? They might appear to look like other nations. I'm going to deal with them because they denied that he was the Messiah. They was like, we rejected him as the Savior. Like, since you deny, his own people, the scriptures say he came to his own and his own received him not. Right. Who is that talking about? But it's that second verse, the next verse, it said, but those that received them, he gave power to be the sons of God. So those Israelite foreigners that even appear to look like other nations, will come into this thing. The spirit and the truth is going to resonate with them heavy. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord ain't looking for a black Israelite. He's looking for an Israelite that can look like Edomites, but go back to the tribe of Judah. See how heavy this thing is?
That's right. And just to add to the brother's point, and just to add to the brother's point, Judah has major influence over the tribes and the Israelite foreigners as well, because at the same time that the brother 𝐉𝐄𝐅𝐄 was bringing out about the Black Panthers, you had the Dalit Panthers of India. Around the same time, like in the 1960s and 70s, around the same time, the so-called Negroes was going through they trial over here in the Americas. The Dalit of India, you know what I'm saying? The Dalit Panthers was going through the same exact thing, over there in on the Far East, man. So it's all the spirit, man. We the same people,
Yeah. Yep. They call us Sicilians, the niggas of Italy. Ever watch that movie Bronx Tale? That's a good example right there of Judites looking different but fighting each other, because it's that social constructive belief, or that belief that just because you don't look like someone, that you're not of that same bloodline, or don't go back to those particular people. So it's more just about analyzing or looking at somebody's body language too, because somebody could come up to us looking like a damn geek out there on the highways and byways. You're looking at him like, oh, this guy a Edomite. You got to watch out. It's more of a joy to break down the scriptures, to explain to them, like, you got to have people that look like you instead of shunning them away. Well, that ain't no real prophet. A real prophet going, get out and walk down the street. We don't want to deal with you. Now, if you come in that spirit of maliciousness or that combative spirit, we don't want to deal with it. You're coming up humbly. Hey, we all for it. We going this. He's like 7 feet tall. Like doesn't matter how you look. It don't matter. The point is that you're gonna have Israelites that come out of all walks of life. They're gonna look different. You know that. Come on, brother. You know that, man.
Right.
To back you up.
Hebrew Israelites, they don't get it. They don't got it.
The scriptures even make mention of that the carnal mind is enmity with the Lord. That's being carnal. That's all that is. These guys want to just look at things surface level, because that's all they can do. They don't want to think outside the box. Lord's ways are above our ways.
That's right.
That's right. Like he don't see things the way we see it, like the scriptures say. Don't judge by appearance, but judge by judgment. It's easy to be like, you're an Edomite, walk down the street. Anybody can do that. But does it show that you're really grounded in this thing? No. Unless fucking airplane pass by, the helicopter. It's a lot. Thing overboard. I think they got a teleport around here by the water. But it's easy to call somebody an Edomite. It's easy to be like, oh, you're an African. Israelites do that. Oh, somebody comes up looking like a dark-skinned purple African, looking like an African, y'all purple and dark. Oh, this guy's an Edomite. I mean, a Hamite. That ain't fair, man. That's not just fair, because you're not really. You're not really dealing with them. You're just shunning them away, and that's not really proclaiming the gospel in sincerity.
Right.
You're not really giving them the truth. You're not going into color scriptures and the social construct, how this thing came about. You're not doing that.
Gone. Yeah, like the brother said, like them guys they're not spiritual, man. They're not spiritual at all. But brothers got precepts. If not, I'll go back to Genesis and read on.
I was looking for something. I remember I read this one article that they used to call so-called black people burnt Irish.
Oh, man.
Show you the same thing. And then
That's heavy. Wow.
They used to call them burnt Irish, and I can't find it anywhere. But I remember I once read an article like that. I was gonna bring that out.
God.
I
Look, you found it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
maybe I'll find it later on, but we can go back into the lessons like it.
God. This is the book of Genesis. So what up?
Oh no, go ahead. It's like
this is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 10. It says, "The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be."
That's right. So the scepter shall not depart from Judah, right, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, right? So you can go read Matthew, the first chapter. It talks about that, right? The entire bloodline going from the King David, all the way down to Yahawashi. The scepter never left from Judah, man. Yahawashi, he's going to have the ultimate rulership, but still going to be in the hands of Judah, until Shiloh come, which is Yahawashi. And even with that, Yahawashi is what? A Judah. Right? He's going to have that ultimate rulership. Right? Unto him shall the gathering of the people be, because that was what Yahawashi was murdered for, right? Unifying the tribes, bringing all the tribes together. Israelite, foreigner, Israelites, bringing everyone together under the Most High Yahawah. That's what he was trying to do, and that's what the apostles, and then the other apostles and other brothers under them were wanting to do, moving all the way down to us, is what we're doing the exact same thing, right? The same that stick of wood, put one name for Ephraim, on the other side for Judah, roughly paraphrasing, right? Let them become one. That's our 12 tribe chart, Baba, could someone get me Slakia? You want to bring out a precept for Kamim?
Somebody could probably grab Isaiah 9:6. Like peace. Of course we say shalom, but Shalawam is like Yahawashi came. He's called the father or the prince of peace. Excuse me. And it all ties in with Malak Tazadak, like Melchizedek, but we're not going to get into the reincarnation aspect of it. And it also is referring to Yahawashi being a high priest, our high priest, and the brother mentioned mediator, the middleman, making peace between us and the Most High. We bring this back to the Heavenly Father. So it goes into that.
God. This is Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6, and it reads, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty Power, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace."
There you go. And we know that Yahawashi stems from the tribe of Judah. He didn't come from the tribe of Levi, but I believe the Levites had like something, they carry that the administration of law giving, of stoning. You know what I'm saying? If something would happen, I'll set this up. Okay, we're gonna everybody come out, all the tribes stone us for committing adultery, get them, kill her for playing a harlot in her father's house, get her, it would be like that. It was rough back then. But Yahawashi, the government, and a government that's well ordered, like the precepts say, a government well ordered. I forget what that's. I believe it's in the Apocrypha, but we ain't got to grab that. But Yahawashi is going to establish that government in the kingdom. That first 1,000-year reign, when we reign with Yahawashi, we're going to get everything in its proper order.
Can someone give me Numbers 24 and start at verse 17, Baba Kasa? I just want to bring this out real quick.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 24, verse 17. It says, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, and a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab, and destroy all the children of Sheth.
All right, so what we just read before, right? Genesis 49 about that scepter. All right, what does this represent, man? That star out of Jacob, the scepter shall rise out of Israel. It's talking about Yahawashi. All right, so we just read about that, right? Genesis 49:8, right? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering the people be. But we're just reading about this in Numbers 24, that Yahawashi, he's going to have that scepter, So that's a direct precept, right? Shall smite the Moab.
What do you do with the scepter, though?
You rule.
That's right.
That's why Revelation 2 has yet to come to pass. Psalm 2 has yet to come to pass. What do you do with a scepter? You just don't look at a scepter and just polish it off. No, you got to beat your enemy over the head with it.
That's right.
I know a lot. That's reality. That's right there is rough, man. The Bible is rough, man. The Bible is having confines of the other nations is coming back in a huge way. The Bible ain't no fairy tale book you just read casually like some old Harry Potter novel, or you sit in class like, you know what I'm saying? It's just raising your hand up in a teacher. No, man, the Bible is rough, man. That's why they try to outlaw, or they did outlaw the Bible in a few countries, because they don't want to hear that message. And especially with us, they did want to hear that message.
The Bible's facts, not fiction. Like they say, the truth hurts. So the scriptures hurt. Double-edged sword.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Galatians 4:16. Am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? This like the brothers was going into. The truth is a two-edged sword. It cuts, man. It hurt. You're gonna bleed out. You're gonna bleed out one way or another. You're gonna bleed out.
That's right. So I went into that word for scepter, right? H7626 Shabbat. From an unused root, probably meaning to branch off a scion, literally a stick for punishing, which the brother just said, writing, ruling, walking, etc. Figuratively, a clan, correction, dart, rod, scepter, staff, tribe, right? And then you you read on down, it says scepter, mark of authority. All right. Yahawashi is going to have that authority. So
that's right.
That's it.
That's right. That's heavy.
That's when he's sitting on his throne, on the throne of David, like it says in Luke. He's going to be sitting on that throne, and also we're going to be sitting on our thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. That word for throne, thronos, authority, power. Thronos. Yeah. Also, before you bring that out, I want to also let's go into the color of the Lord too. We got to go into that too, because just mention Judah all day, but we got to mention how they look too. But let's Shemashwan finish. I was gonna say we'll go into it after.
Khan, I just saw here the brother GMSFAQ actually left a precept, Genesis 22:16 about that star, right? I, Yahawashi, have sent my angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, which you already mentioned, and the bright and morning star. All right, so that star out of Jacob, which that star also represents not rulership, wisdom. Morning star also represents wisdom. I think when you go into it, goes into the sun. You know,
Yeah,
it gives
you're
out
right.
that light.
Right.
You know,
You could tie that on Revelation 12.
that's right.
Yep.
But yeah, we can go into the color. So what Revelation, the first chapter, and like what verse
14.
13. Con. We can go into that. With the color.
Jeremiah
then I'll
14
open
and
up
2. 1.
I got that one on deck.
Let Yeshaya break down color scripture too.
Good.
Let the brother Yeshaya break down the color scripture.
Good. I'm gonna go read the Revelation chapter 1 verse 13, and it says.
No, let another brother read for him, and
God,
he can break it down.
You want Revelation 1 and 13 up?
God.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 13. It says, "And I turned to see the voice that spake with me." Oh, Salakia, that's 12. It says, "In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle." Go ahead, Op.
God, this is representing the garments, representing the Son of Man, which is Yahawashi, who this world wrongfully calls Jesus, and it's just referring to his appearance.
Right.
God. Verse 14. Oh, Salakia.
No. The girdle's talking about also the belt.
God.
The like belt, Yahawashi, but he's in the. It's like John the Revelator knew how Yahawashi looked because he walked with him, but he's breaking it down also how he would look, how he would look now. Like that golden girdle garment, right? The golden girdle, which will hold down your garment. Some brothers, you see them with a girdle. It's not like gold. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a belt, or a string or whatever. So the wind won't blow your garment over you. You know what I mean?
God.
And the garments, the brothers, right? Go back to our ancient customs. You can find that written in Numbers 15.
God.
That's right. Revelation 1 and 14, it says, "His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire."
God, and this just refers to his hair. It's referring to the texture and the color, as well as the eyes. Whereas a flame of fire was because they would call Yahawashi a wine bibber, which would cause his eyes, to the veins, to pump blood, which would make it red.
Right.
And other breakdowns as well, you know what I'm saying? Like that brothers go into it, that red also represents the wrath, the indignation that he's coming back with to halt Esau, just to add to the brother's point.
Gone. I guess, in other words, like his blood's boiling.
Gone.
Yup. That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Revelation 1 and 15. It says, "In his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters."
God, the voice of sound of many waters just refers to how, loud, they described Yahawashi as an austere man, very strict. But the feet like unto fine brass, a penny could refer to, the color of brass, but it doesn't just refer to that. It says as if they burned in a furnace,
That's right.
And that's just something a lot of people, they're either going to get that or they're just going to argue about it. Like, people come up to us on the highways and hedges, but the son of the living power, he is a colored man. He's a dark-skinned man. And that's just a big lie that, these people have tried to take away from us, is that our people, are the ones that Yahawah is dealing with.
Khan. And when you go into the word brass in that scripture, I really don't know how to pronounce this, and I'm just being straight. I'm not even gonna fucking try. But it basically says the outline of biblical usage. It says some metal like gold, if not more precious. Now jumping down to Strong's definition, some key words here. It says burnished copper, an alloy of copper or gold, like the brother was going into. Penny, right? When you look at a penny, it says an alloy of copper or gold, and silver having a brilliant luster, fine brass. So there you go, man. Who the world calls Jesus Christ was a dark-skinned man. You know? Now, while it's not that hard to grasp, it's not that hard to understand that, especially in the time that he was alive in, over 2,000 years ago. All right, this is still a stumbling block to Jake, man.
Exactly.
To the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And then the scriptures talk about as if it burned in the furnace. What happens to something when it burns? Like when you light something on fire, it gets darker and like a marshmallow. When you roast marshmallows, do they not get darker?
Even grow up, God.
Yep. Yeah, see, Yahawashi was so dark-skinned man. If somebody could hold Jeremiah 14:2, bring that out.
I want to mention this real quick.
Or dark.
Go ahead.
I want to just mention this real quick. The reason why John the Revelator is referencing Yahawashi's feet was because he was bound to him. So that's another side to it too. Because why did he mention specifically, his feet?
Yeah.
But we can move on from there.
God.
You referred to Jeremiah 14?
14:2.
14:2.
Just to prove that the so-called blacks here in America are from the tribe of Judah, or the tribe of Judah are the so-called blacks here in America.
Jeremiah 14 verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground, and the cry of Jerusalem is gone up.
Right, now Hebrew word for black is Qadash.
Mm-hmm.
Qadash. Now we know that Qadash was one of the sons of Ishmael, but because the Ishmaelites were dark skinned, but so was the tribe of Judah. Right, you can read about that in Songs 1, 5, and 6. Swarthy, Qadash, dark skinned. Solomon was a dark skin, so dark skin. Right.
Right.
God,
That's
I
Go ahead.
God. I know on the King James website, I read it earlier. Whenever it refers to gates, it also could be looked at as leadership, which the tribe of Judah we referred.
Right. It refers to the people, but the leadership as well. Right.
I want to mention this too real quick, right? Because back then we had like gates around the city.
Right.
Ancient cities back then, they were always walled off. I think there was a thing that brother went into that the aristocrats or the high ruling people always dwelt on like the gates of the city. Something along those lines. So that all ties into it. You got it, Kaya.
No, I was looking for something. I lost my train of thought. Maybe it come back later, but I'll just briefly make the point that the brother 𝐉𝐄𝐄𝐅𝐿 brought up the Shemashma, you have brought it up. Talk about the Sicilians. You had the Jake, the so-called Moors, which we wasn't going by our right names and our right customs. Ruled over Europe for a time, man. For a while. So you had Jake, the southern tribe over there popping them Edomite women. Them so-called white women, man.
Right. So that's a cut on these fake Jews, these Amalekites.
Right.
When they talking about they when we bring out that scripture, they're black unto the ground.
God.
Yeah, they got all black, but their skin ain't black. It ain't dark. So why? Because they're trying to conform or fit the prophecy. That's a strike. They didn't come slave ships, right? They didn't have a yoke of iron placed upon their neck. They're not dark skinned like the tribe of Judah. That's a strike. And they say Yahudi or Levi. They use like Yiddish name like Yahudi. Not the way you say it in the Hebrew. It's Yahawah, which means Yahawah thanks.
That's right.
I want to mention this too. Oh, go ahead. It's lock out.
Same ones that came here on cargo slave ship. Same ones that fill up the prison houses. Same ones that are on those street corners. Don't the scripture say that thy young men shall lie on the head of every corner?
That's right.
Who are those people? That's mainly all black. And you got Ephraim, so-called Puerto Ricans. Then you got the Mexicans, so-called Mexicans, Issachar, right? It don't fit but us. You look up the word ghetto, it means someone that dwells in a city, is bound to the city. Ghetto, place of the Jews. Look that up on online etymology. These people are joking. People calling us anti-Semitic. Esau came out of Shem, but he's not an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? You can't. First of all, Esau can't call himself a Jew because the Jews came out of the tribe of Judah. Or you can't call yourself a Jew because Jew goes back to the tribe of Judah. No.
That's right. That's right.
I wanted to mention this real quick. I said that the gates was where the kings lived. I was wrong on that. The gates. I was looking up this website. This is from, of course.
What did you say? The gates do mean the leadership, though.
Yeah, the leadership. But I said that the kings like lived in the gates. That's not true. They just ruled and judged at the gates and put out decrees. The gates was the chief place of concourse. Like we always talk about in the gates and so on and so forth, right? In the spirit, we do that. That's why we prophesy in urban areas and places where there are lots of people, right? This is from 𝐉𝐄𝐅𝐿 controlled media, but the first part of the pages are right, Haaretz.com, right? When King David sat in the gate, what did that mean? Gates in biblical Israel weren't just a doorway into the city. They were where prophets cried out and kings judged and people met, like in the ancient city of Dan. So boom,
That's heavy.
Right.
I mean, it's 𝐉𝐄𝐅𝐿 controlled media, but they're actually right.
Yeah.
I gotta give them damn gutter rats, some credit on this one, but it's not their info anyway. It's pertaining to them.
That's right. You're right about that.
They're right.
Back to brother 𝐉𝐄𝐅𝐿. I looked it up. Ghetto in the etymology. I was gonna read the first sentence. It says part of a city in which Jews are compelled to live.
Right.
That's how they describe our people. They live in the ghetto. They're ghetto.
Right. Yep. Gone.
I believe in the Northern Kingdom. They call it the barrio. It's like
the barrios. Yep.
Barrio.
That's what I always hear. People always talk about it. The barrio.
And also, like the Brazilians say, the favelas. The favelas, like they have like compact structure. They have a real compact structure that they specifically built themselves. Real compact. There's a precept, I believe, that Psalm. It says that the Israel is a city compact together. There's a city like the Psalms, but they'll build these houses, but it'll be so ghetto over there. But only they know the route of which way to take. They know all the ins and outs of the favelas. So if any police officer, we're not inciting violence.
Right.
But if any police officer, there's a lot of police corruption in Brazil. Anyone of those police officers go into the city, there's no way out. So if the gangsters want to get them, they done.
Yep.
In his favelas, and there's a lot of murders in those favelas. I've seen some brutal videos of Asherites taking out other Asherites, or Brazilians taking out other Brazilians. Brutal shit. Brutal shit. They don't play that.
That's heavy.
Yeah, that's all on the internet too. We're gonna get into Issachar later on, but there's some fucking vile shit that these Northern Kingdom tribes do, man. Fucking cannibalism and shit, like the cartels, they straight wild, man.
Yep.
The tribe of Zebulon, which we're gonna get into, they pop donkeys.
Oh hell
they
no!
run trains on donkeys. I can get off on that. I'm telling you, what they do.
It goes upside down.
Oh hell!
Wow. People are lost.
Oh hell no!
Jake is. Hey, they are revolted and gone.
God is joking.
That's it. If brothers ain't have anything else, we'll go back to our agenda. That's fucking wild, bro. That's good. That's fucking great.
Let's get back to it. 49.
This is Genesis chapter 49, verse 11. All right, we still talk about Judah. It says, binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's coat unto the choice vine, he washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes.
Right. So binding his colt unto the vine, his ass's coat unto the choice vine, right? He already did that, right? When you can read about that in what is it? I think it's in Matthew and other places, right? Yahawashi riding upon that colt or that ass or that donkey, which represents humility.
Right.
And that was supposed to go back to him while he was at Solomon and his connections between that, which we don't have to get super deep into, right? And he washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. That goes into Isaiah 63:1, right? Wherefore art thou red in thy apparel, right? Dyed garments from Basra, which that was a chief city of Edom, right? And that just represents blood. Yahawashi having that vengeance.
That's
All
right.
right. And of course, Boswick, he's gonna bring that judgment upon these Edomites, man. You know, take down America and take down all these nations, man. You
That's
know,
right.
right? So,
Because Basra is modern day America. Basra is America.
the water.
Yep.
You know why we can prove that too? I don't want to. You ain't gonna go all over the place with this, but you know how you can prove that too. Like we say, Russia is Gog and Magog,
Right.
because they're dwelling in that land now. But prior to that, well, way before that, it was the Japhites. But
Yep.
time and time went by, then the Russians took over that land. Just like Esau here, they took over this land. You know what I'm saying? We could call this place Basra, which we know the original inhabitants of Basra, like the brother mentioned, we're Esau, Edom. But anywhere that Esau goes, we could call them the Egyptians, the Egypt, Basra, Assyrians. Why? Because they have a possession of all these lands. That vibration is on these people, on these damn devils.
Yep. That's why America is a melting pot. It's the chief city of the world, man. You know.
Right.
Genesis 49:12. It says, "His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk."
Right. And we already went into that, right? Yahawah's eyes should be red with wine, going to, drinking that wine. You know, that's pretty much that. They call them wine bibber, and what else do you call them? You like to eat with publicans and sinners in the city.
Yep.
John the Baptist came to you eating. John the Baptist came to you fasting, but Yahawashi came to you eating. You know, like no matter what you do, no matter how you come to these people, they reject you. You know, but brothers can add more if you want to. Add extra.
That was pretty much that scripture is plain in itself. You know, his eyes shall be red with wine. You know.
Right.
Genesis 49:13, it says, "Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon."
Hold on, before we get into there, do we break down the part that who shall rise Judah up? Do we break all that down?
Yeah. We've been one over
that. Did mention it during the docile. Yeah, I heard him say that. Yep, Salakia.
Did we go into? Did we go into? Well, I'll just mention it now. If we've mentioned it already, doesn't matter. But Judah being roused up also means Judah's going to start being angry. There's going to be those race riots and those race wars that are going to go down here in America during Jacob's trouble. That goes into Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt.
Except too, Judah should be a terror unto Egypt. Damn.
Yeah, so it's gonna go down, and you see that kind of rousing. That's why I said, Judah's in that docile state, but nowadays not so much, because everyone knows about this whole Israelite thing. Even before Kanye. I mean, I even see videos in the 80s where Jakes were saying that, hey, everyone knows that so-called Jesus was black. And they were saying it in the 80s. So now, everybody noticed.
He was Middle Eastern. How the hell you classify someone by using a direction?
Exactly.
Middle Eastern is just a direction. You want to contend there's really Middle East and like Far East near talking about Middle Eastern. How the hell can you be a Middle Eastern? Does that make sense?
They call Yahawashi Oriental, which
in the Middle East. Middle East. But
they call Yahawashi. They call Yahawashi Oriental, which literally means from the east. But it's like the brother said, how you going to describe a person with the direction? That doesn't. It's redundant. That's like we dark skin. Brothers dark skin. That's like calling somebody north. Like you that north person. Looking like what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? I could be a so-called Mexico, but somebody's calling me a North person or some stupid shit. But that's how Esau has turned the world upside down. The covering cast. He's the covering cast. Renaming all of the people and classifying people into five categories, man. But that's a video for another day. John. This is the book of Genesis. Oh, Salakia, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say the water to the brother Rawchaa for that, for bringing that up. I was thinking about that too. I was like, oh dang, hope we mentioned that already. But the water. completely slipped my mind, you know.
God.
You got that.
Genesis 49:13. Zebulon shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon.
All right, so the word Zebulon means dweller, right? Which we just mentioned, right? He shall be for haven of the sea, or haven at the ships, right? Going to the Panama Canal, right? And when you go into it, right, Zebulon shall be at the haven of the sea, right? Panama Canal shows that they're so-called Guatemalans to the Panamanians. You look at that on the map, going all the way to Panama, like we mentioned, the Panama Canal. And then he shall be for a haven of ships, right? Because we know that Panama Canal, the port, has a lot of different ships and lots of different traffic going on. I know the brother 𝐉𝐄𝐅𝐄, he sent me, I think he put it in the chat for everyone, but he has certain articles on the Panama Canal and certain things that goes on down there and the history behind that, right? And his border shall be unto Zidon, right? Unto Zidon, right? And that goes to them Olmec heads, you know, and they're all across the Yucatan, which is, let's see here, like lower Mexico to Honduras and Panama, right? Right, those Olmec heads, they go and point east, and they point east and they face towards Zidon, right, where those Hamites were. Right, because that all goes back to the history with King Solomon. He sent down, you know, did he send down Hiram exactly, or he sent down? I can't remember which one. He sent. I'll just say he sent Hamites down, the Zidonians.
Sent his men.
Yeah, there
Hiram
we go. The why?
his men and his came over here. There's a book called "Came Before Columbus" that Edomites put together, and what they said is that the people living here. They also show pictures inside that book that show like Africans now, and connected it to those Hamites back then. The Tyrian, the Sidonians, they were seafarers. They were like people of the sea, so they knew how to cut timber, how to trade, and like they remember that video we did in a Metropolitan Museum. They were into that stuff. They showed like the ships with Hamites in it, literal like dark skin. They were like bald and stuff like that. You know, they were heathens. They were all into these heathenistic customs. But Solomon told Hiram, and Hiram gave the command to his men. So, you know, the Olmecs, I believe that they were too heavy. They're called basalt stones. They're too heavy to place on the ships. So I believe that they carved all that out when they were here. And that's how they left that sign and that mark for our use now to bring all this information out. To tie it in with scripture. It's so beautiful. And also to mention Zebulon, they weren't bordering the sea. Look up an ancient map of Israel. They weren't bordering the sea back then. They were next to I forgot what tribe Zebulon was next to. I know they were up to the northwest, but they weren't bordering the sea like they are now. Now Panama and that region borders the sea. Right, and another thing too, the brother mentioned Olmecs, that the Olmecs in that book, they say that the Olmecs all faced east. Why would they all face east? What's the indication? What's the significance? Because everybody east. But just want to bring that extra information up.
So Zebulon on in the ancient map is between Asher, Naphtali, Issachar, and Manasseh.
Right, but is it by the water? But is it by the water? No,
it's not by the water. It's in a compact space. It's in a very compact space where no water is able to pass through there. You know,
around the other tribes.
Yep.
So that's how you know it's talking.
Also, that it's talking about future prophecy.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep.
God. I got it under here too. I think the brother Kazak mentioned this one, right? There was basically like landmarks. Those Olmecs, those like Zidonians, they basically used those heads as landmarks, like an ancient Google map.
Right. Yeah.
No new thing under the sun, because you know we did that too. You know, we had all these landmarks out just so like if you walk around, you know how to get around and stuff. You know. I said, I found this landmark, and if I go 5 miles east, and I'll get to this city. If I go north, I get here, you know.
Yeah, One thing that all nations did back in the East is keep landmarks, relics, and also we'll write information down and store it away. We'll repeat stuff over and over. We'll have like an extra copy, extra. Where do you think Esau gets that from? Let me get an extra copy of this. I'll write this down. The court systems and all that, all as everything that Esau does, he got it from the East. You know what I'm saying? Because he himself knows about that. You know what I'm saying? They know about it.
Right.
Like relics, like I said, the relics, the landmarks, all of that. So he knows how to manipulate his way through. He's a manipulator.
But yet he'll go and tell the whole world, everybody. He'll go and tell the whole world that that the so-called Gadites and Native Americans and the Seminoles, you know what I'm saying, were they were unlearned. They were unlearned. They were savages.
Mm-hmm.
They were savages. They were uncivilized. They were uncultured. Nah, Gad and Reuben and Issachar, you know what I'm saying, the the 10 tribes, pursuant to 2nd Esdras, the 13th chapter that was of it. They were civil. They were very civilized, and everything was principle. It was basic, but we wasn't in our right minds.
You know how you can tell civilized too, because all the diseases that you have now in those northern kingdom tribes around it, or here in America, really didn't exist until the Spaniards and all them Edomites came on this side. So obviously civilized because they kept clean. They know how to cultivate land, the buffalo herding, and taking care of the family. They did all of that.
Yep. Gone.
That's right. I want to mention this real quick, just for some landmarks and just to orient the viewers, right? So this is www.mexicolore.co.uk. It's called the Aztecs and the Maya. And when you read on down, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, right? Maya civilization, or Maya civilization, which Maya goes back to Mayan, which means springs, by the way. It goes back to Hebrew. Maya civilization was spread out across the Yucatan Peninsula. This includes the Mexican states of Campeche, Yucatan, Huetano, Ro'o, and part of Tabasco, and includes Guatemala, Belize, Western Honduras, and Western El Salvador. All right, so that's right. That ties in with it. This is where they were. And then of course we're gonna get more into that. Aztecs, Mayans, and how they traded and interacted with one another, of course. But we can read on. Unless brothers have any other points.
I just wanted to bring this up real quick. Just to go into the curses of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. This is another way you could tell that the 10 tribes, northern tribe is brothers right along with southern tribe as well. I had sent it in the group chat, but it was something it was this thing called the football war, right, between the so-called Hondurans and the so-called Salvadorians. And the reason why I know about this is because I had a girl, like when I was in high school, we was together, whatever, and she told me that Hondurans and Salvadorians they never get along, and it never really dawned on me to ask why or whatever. But when I looked it up, it's because of this football war. Now, just a little brief synopsis. This is on Wikipedia. It says the football war, in Spanish, La Guerra del Fútbol, or soccer war, also known as the
La Guerra del Fútbol, right? The war of football, right?
Kind. It says the 100 Hours War, or 100-Hour War, was a brief military conduct fought between Salvador and Honduras in 1969. Existing tensions between the two countries coincided with rioting during the 1970 FIFA World Cup qualifier. Now, come on, man. Jake is bugged out of his mind. Here it is. You got two, and they're Israelites. They're the same exact tribe. Zebulon, Zebulon, they're the same tribe. But what? Going back to the curses of Deuteronomy, thine eye shall be equal toward thy brother.
Thinking about that precept. That's right. That's right.
Also, going back into how Jake is sadish, our people are stupid, man. That's what the word sadish means. Our people are very stupid, man. They fighting over a damn soccer game, and that's the spirit, because you could tell, America takes entertainment, more specifically sports, very seriously, man. A lot of fights break out at these damn stadiums. You know, which is it's all wicked, man.
Yeah, I remember that soccer player. I believe he was a goaltender for Argentina. He hit the ball into his own, goal, and they had murdered his ass. They had murdered him sometime after. That's hilarious.
Yo.
It was one of those countries out of the northern I believe it was Argentina. I remember that. It was back in the 90s during a World Cup or whatever. I gotta look back into that, but yeah, they took his ass out. They take sports serious. The Northern Kingdom, they love that soccer stuff, man.
God, and it's the same thing with Judah. Like back in elementary school and high school, yo, Judah would jump your ass if one of the teams lost a fucking basketball game, bro. Judah will jump you. He'll pull your teeth out. He'll stomp you out. I remember this one kid. He came to class and he was a tall, like real humble, meek dude or whatever. But he was like tall and shit like that. He came to class one day with a fucking black eye. The teacher said what happened. They were just like, yeah, me and my team lost a game of basketball and they jumped me. And everybody was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, Judah,
that's Brooklyn shit.
That actually happened when I was down south. That's
God.
Down south.
What's that account? We was gonna fight a nation, and it said, "Oh yeah, we went into the land first." I believe Joshua and somebody said Judah will go first. Judah's gonna go first into the land.
I know what you're talking about, Khan.
Right.
Yep.
In the other account with Joseph in Egypt, who you think plotted on selling Joseph to the Midianites, to them Ishmaelites?
Judah.
Judah.
Yep.
Judah gets to the hardest. Gun violence, prison systems.
Gone. Because America is the only country in the world with the highest number of incarcerated citizens, which consists of so-called blacks and Hispanics. The leading top two, and right after that is Esau, Edom. So that just comes to show who. And the scriptures talk about us being thrown in prison houses. If a brother want to grab that, if not, it's cool. But the scriptures talk about how.
Isaiah 42.
Gone. The scripture said that would happen, man. No other nation on this planet is just throwing, citizens in prison and jail like America. So that just comes to that's going back to that perpetual hatred in Ezekiel the 35th chapter. Esau does not want our people to thrive, man. And look, we're not gonna thrive in this land and not in this time, man.
Well, look what happened when the tribe of Judah went over there to Israel back in the 60s with Ben-Ami. Look what happened to him. They had to deport him out of that land. They gave him a time to like a grace period or whatever. They gave him a time. Look, you got to leave. And they put him in. Not only that, they put him in a den. They settled to live on a contaminated land.
They will buy.
What's that place called again? That contaminated land.
They will buy a nuclear site.
Dimona.
They were right next to a nuclear power plant. That's the best place. You can live. A little accident. Oh, whoops! The niggas died. Whoops!
That's oh man. That's
what do you call it? Mossad would do some shit like that, man. They would put a bomb in there and say, "Oh, it was the fucking Arabs, man. It was them fucking what do you call them? Fuck. What are they fighting? What do they call those guys, man? Philistines, Palestinians.
God.
There we go. These are all them damn Palestinians. They blew up the thing like they always do. You have the fucking false flag events and shit. Slocky, a little brain fog for a second there, man. I was gonna mention something too, but we already know about Judah and the whole system, how Esau set it up, where you got in the project buildings where you can't have a man in the house to get like the food stamps and all that, government assistance, destroying the black family, right? There's a documentary from like the 80s called The Vanishing Black Family. You could go watch that. That talks about all that, and that set a precedence for today. And now you got women with all these child support with no dads. 5 different dads. And and then them in the house so she could get government assistance, so she could make fucking money.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, we ain't forget about you black women, you Judite women.
Yeah.
We ain't forget
Exactly.
about that ball ass head.
Con.
That's right.
The Lord said, instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of sweet smelling, a stank. Stank. And that's what the so-called black woman is. She stank, bro. And hell, you and that's the spirit. And that, because I always heard that word growing up, like in the black community, like, oh, you stank. That's from the scriptures. The scriptures talk about that.
It's like that heifer. They always use that heifer.
Yup.
When I was out here, the tribe of Judah be like, stinking ass heifer. That bitch. Oh, fucking musty ass. Musty.
Uh-huh.
That's the tribe so-called blacks
That's
here in
right.
America. Undoubtedly, man. About that.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
I want
That
to
was
go
it on
into.
Zebulon. Salaki, go ahead, Al.
I was gonna bring this out real quick too, just to
Alright.
talk about the Panama Canal real quick, right? PBS.org. How the Panama Canal helped make the U.S. a world power. Considered one of the wonders of the modern world, the Panama Canal opened for business 100 years ago. This Friday, which was August 15th, linking the Atlantic, August 15, 2014, so this is years ago, right? But still relevant. And it linked the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans, providing a new route for international trade and military transport. Now, there's a documentary called the Panama Deception, or what was it called? Yeah, Panama. Gone.
Esau used lasers. Brothers could check that out. That documentary, not to cut you off, Fox, but Esau used lasers back in the 80s. Show you that technology is true. When Yahawashi returns, he's gonna laser beam the hell out of these damn devils. People look at this like making stuff up like it's a joke. They use lasers that cut through a car. Look at that documentary. You be like, and they ran over the Zebulonites with their military tanks. It shows like the dead bodies, like clay. These fucking devils gotta pay y'all. They show like dead bodies and like no regard for man, woman, or child. It fits perfectly with the curse in Deuteronomy. They should have no regard for old or the young. Brothers, that's a horrific documentary, man. But there's so much information in that documentary. So much.
God, Ezekiel 35:5 come to mind. They showed let me read it real quick, just the first.
Bring it out.
Ezekiel 35:5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahawah, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
That's right.
People are gonna have their blood shed too.
Yep.
What that also goes into is the time of the siege of Babylon, when the Babylonians were kicking our asses, right? Esau would actually stand at the gates and kill us when we tried to run away, and it talks about that. They burnt it. That's right. They joined in with the Babylonians. To take our asses down, man. Like Esau was working with the Hamites to take us down. It was all a planned thing. They all did it together.
I got
you. Con, you got it.
Psalm 137 and verse 7. Remember, O Lord, brothers could break it down. The children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it means to destroy it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that reward of thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone.
That's right. Right in the day of Babylon, that day of our calamity, which the brother Yeshai brought out in Ezekiel 35:5, right? When those Babylonians were coming down on us, Esau was there too, burning down the temple, joining in our destruction, man. They were all happy. They were enjoying it. They were screaming, yeah, get him. And then the second part too, right? Happy shall he be. Who's that going to be, man? We just read about this. Hand shall be in the neck of his enemies. All right, starting with the tribe of Judah and the rest of the tribes. Yeah, we're going to be taking their kids and, just bang, what does it say too? Ravishing their wives. It's going to go down, man.
You know it's spiritual because it mentions the daughter of Babylon also. So this right here is not about the ancient Babylons, but the daughter of Babylon, which ties into Isaiah 47:1, showing you that this Babylon here is America.
That's right.
That's right.
Why would it be Babylon, the daughter of Babylon? You see how it just switches, how the scriptures switch? It's like you got to not discern these things. Like, oh, now it's talking about America and these Edomites that rule over Babylon, America, which are known as the daughter of Babylon. Why? Because they're like America's like the offspring of ancient Babylon and the customs that they follow in ancient Babylon. But the Most High is connecting them to this being as spiritual Babylon, just like this spiritual Egypt.
Yep.
It all ties in with Esau, Edom.
The same mystery school, Babylonian Kemetic mystery school system is the same thing the Babylonians were doing, is the same thing Esau got with the Masons and all that stuff, and then the different degrees of Masons. And of course Esau, wherever he goes, like in Scotland, they have their own thing, like the Order of the Rose Cross. So there's different, things that these different Edomites, wherever they ran to and took over, where they set up. You got them in fucking Iran, India. Look into the Sassoon family. Those are all Amalekites. The Saud, the House of Saud in Saudi Arabia. The person that started that up, the person that started that out, he was an Amalekite, man. In China, you had the Kaifeng Jews. Those are Amalekites. they got a big ass synagogue out there, I believe, in Hong Kong, man. All right, so these Amalekites, when you look into Psalm 83, these Amalekites are in every nation pulling the strings up in there, man. They got rulerships up in there, man. All right. But just to add on to the Panama Canal, just like a little snapshot of history, like the Spanish took them over, and then eventually, got into the hands of America. And then you have, I believe it was Theodore Roosevelt who ordered all that to be set up for the building that Panama Canal. And then after that, all that trade came in. And then, as we read here with the article, right, how the Panama Canal helped make the U.S. a world power. So you got the Southern Kingdom on one level, right, with slavery, hardcore bondage. You got the Northern Kingdom as well, slavery, right, and then being servants help make America a world power, make America be the ruler. Yep. And I still call it slavery because they were working them to hell down there, and making them carry shit and do the legwork like they do with all the tribes. It still is slavery. We're still in slavery, fucking wage slavery, man.
Yep. A lot of people don't even know that
they don't know that.
Build the Panama Canal. The slaves did help build the Panama Canal. So
I didn't know that. God, the water.
I sent you that, but the slaves built and they perished too while building it. It's just like building a infrastructure or building. You're gonna lose lives. You're gonna lose lives building building or whatever, but slaves helped build the Panama Canal.
Right. Yeah. Gone. But they won't tell you that in a food system. That's why the scriptures say perfectly they made no account of his labor. They won't say that. They won't say that so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans built the Panama Canal, the Empire State Building, all of America and all of these other places, man. But that's exactly why the scriptures they made no account of they made no account of his labor, man, because they don't care about us. Everything that we build in these societies, they take the credit for. Jake invented the light bulb, the car, peanut butter, and those are just small, intricacies and knickknacks. But Jake built it all because we're the former of all things, man. But Esau, Edom took credit for everything,
What was that in the curses? We shall build and another inhabit.
Yep, kind.
And they inhabited. Like the White House was built by Israelite slaves.
Yep.
Some people, the Capitol Hill, Capitoline Hill.
Gone.
Yep. Same thing. We can go back to Genesis 49 if brothers don't have anything else to bring out.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 14. It says, Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. Go ahead, Al.
Okay. Right. So Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens, right? And Issachar, when you go into it, Yashashkar, which means he is hired, right? And they are so-called Mexicans today, right? And they're known for being hard workers. They're all in construction, various jobs. They're real good with organization, as we know. I got here the brother Kazak. He mentioned this in that camp.
Kaya, brother, Kaya.
Oh no, Kazak. Remember the 12 tribes?
No, he's talking about the Kazak from the Mississippi camp. I know you're talking. Go ahead.
Okay,
that video, I really do recommend brothers out there who watching this that you check out the brother at the GMS Mississippi 12 tribes camp that they did. They go into it all, but of course we're not gonna sit here and take everything word for word, of course, right?
No,
but
every brother got a point to make. It's not like we're gonna go into every point. We got other brothers too that go. We're not the only ones doing it, so it's always a battle. Oh, you got to bring out a point. I mean, we can go and do the 33 other precepts. We can't do all that in one. And
that's right.
Freely ye have received.
We want to burn ourselves out anyway. We don't want to go into every single thing too.
Exactly.
There's got to be some type of opening for other brothers to bring those points in too. Like, oh damn, it comes after like, damn, like what? Maybe going to the tribes, you got something new to bring out.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
And we know we're not supposed to be, what do brothers call it? Copying each other, like saying everything word for word. What do brothers call it? I can't remember what brothers call it. Parroting. Yeah, we're not supposed to be parrots.
Regurgitating.
Regurgitate. Yep, con. Yep.
Right.
Regurgitate, parroting. Yeah. Like the elders say, like, there's a point in time where you have to become your own man in this truth, man. Because brothers got their own person. Every brother has their own personality, man. So when you've been in the truth long enough, you start developing who you are as a person. You got brothers good in history. You got brothers good in, going into entertainment. You got brothers that go into politics. Brothers who's great with exhortations, so on and so forth, man. So brothers great at pulling out precepts, and don't act like precept kings and, cold cut warriors and so on and so forth. But with humility, they bring out the scriptures.
Yeah, respect brothers. Yes, brother got a part to play in this too. You gotta respect brothers. You gotta give brothers their space. You gotta respect brothers. Just because a brother don't break down something like you break, you gotta respect brothers.
That's right.
The balance. You need that. You gotta look at that brother like he's a part of you. Like, damn, I didn't bring it out, so that brother's a part of the body. He brought it out.
Right.
You got to respect brothers. Like, damn, I ain't think of it like that.
We back each other up.
Like, damn, that was some powerful stuff. So you might feel a little jealous sometimes. Like, damn it, I should have said that. And you be like, no. The brother said it.
Right.
The brother said it. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's bring out your points and move on. That's it.
That's right. Because it's truth, man. And it's true. We have to cover all areas. We have to cover all aspects. Like I like to use this term a lot. It's omnidirectionally facilitated. We got to be able to shoot at the enemy from all angles, man.
Yep.
We got to be able to shoot from it because that's how the truth is. So that we have to facilitate ourselves in such manner.
That's right.
But I'll go back to Genesis 49.
Okay.
It says if you want to break down the two burdens,
Okay. Yeah. I thought you were just gonna reread the 14th verse all over again, but right, Issachar is a strong ass countdown between two burdens, right? They know that they're good at work, as everyone knows about the slurs and shade they be throwing at Issachar, saying, they'll Mexicans taking all the jobs, and that's it. That's to be said.
I don't know. I don't know how the hell you fit 5 jobs in a 24-hour schedule. I just don't get it.
They get it.
I just can't get it. They actually fit 5 jobs in a 24 hours. We're like, how many hours do you work a day? 49. I'm like, no, it's crazy. You see them early in the morning. It'd be like 3 or 4 in the morning. It's like a line of Issacharites waiting to get work. And hard workers. It's respect. because I work with some of them, it's the respect that I have for them. It's like they're very silly too. They got like jokes for days. And you know, I play around with some of them sometimes, man. Like we go back and forth, but it's nothing that we'll go fighting. But like it's something that we know is true. And like little gringo bandido, right? Like, yeah, yo, gringo bandido. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. They know Esau's the enemy because they got a hot sauce. I brought a hot sauce years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. Do you know they got a hot sauce called Gringo Bandido?
Oh,
Bandit. And they show Esau, type it in, they show Esau with the dark shades, right? An assault rifle here, and he's got like a handgun, a revolver. Type it in, like a thing of bullets, like type it in, Gringo Bandido hot sauce.
Damn.
You can't make it, it's funny, but it's true though. It's like Gringo Bandido. Yeah,
that's forward.
Because they know that the Aztecs, you know, and brother, please go into that. The information you brought out the other day with the Aztecs.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, Lord willing. But look that up. I'm not making it up. It's called Gringo Bandido. It's a hot sauce.
Bandido?
Gringo Bandido. Like a bandit.
Oh.
Just Gringo Bandido. I forgot how you spell Bandido.
Oh, yeah, it just popped up.
And look at the image. Type in image.
He got the two. Yeah, like, that's funny. Like that's fucking hilarious, man.
Because Issachar knows who the enemy is. Esau was given a great sword. Right? They know that. They just can't go into the scriptures and like identify, oh, this is Esau. But they know, even outside of the Bible, they know who the enemy is. Everyone knows their enemy. Iran calls Esau the great Satan. Iran does. Everybody knows. They don't call him by, oh, he's Esau Edom. No, we know who Esau Edom is. Mm-hmm. Like Russia and all of them, they're so stupid. They don't even know they're Edomites. And the Lord is using them on as a chess piece in the game. And they ain't felt it.
But yeah, I want to go into this real quick because the scriptures called Issachar and ass and stuff like that. Now, ass we all know is a strong animal. You know what I'm saying? It is a very strong animal, but an ass is also stubborn because when you look at Esau going into his whole animal science and so on and so forth. They said a donkey is a very hard animal to train, for work. But when you get when you train it and you treat it right, you do what you're supposed to do with it, you can get it to work properly. It's the same exact thing with the so-called Mexicans, man. That's why you got the word burro. They
call it burro. That's what it is. Burro means dumb.
Yep. See?
All interchangeable.
Yep. And Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, they're stubborn. They can be real dumb at the niggas of them. You know what I'm saying? The niggas of they're very stubborn. They're dumb. You know what I'm saying? But they are strong, hard workers, man. Nah,
there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
God.
They fit that name to the T. Perfect. They fit that name. Perfect. No doubt about it. Nomen. Yep. Name prediction. They fit that name perfectly.
That's right.
Gone. To mention this too, right? Because we know that they are the Aztecs. Right, because they're strong workers, right? The same way they made them pyramids, man. It also goes into that too. The brother Kazaki brought that out. The way they be building houses and they be doing it real quick is the same way they were building up them pyramids, man. They got a special kind of mind, or really a spirit, to be able to build stuff, man.
That's right.
We don't got to get into everything about the stargazing and all that stuff. That ties into it too. First Chronicles 12. But when you go onto that, right, strong ass countdown between two burdens, that means they're between North and Central America. Because when you look at what Mexico is, right, you have North America, you have the United States, right, the entire continent, United States, Canada, and then, right, and you have Mexico in between, and then below it you have Central America, which is Guatemala to Panama, which is where you had Mayans, or as you mentioned before, the so-called I'll just say Zebulon, or Zebulon, as you say in the Hebrew. And that's where they dwelt. They were in mostly Central America,
Yeah, actually, I got something for you. Let me bring it out right quick.
Go.
It's going to tie into what you said about the the pyramids. This Deuteronomy 33 and 19. I'll start at verse 18. And of Zebulon, he said, rejoice, Zebulon, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents. So Issachar and Zebulon, sometimes you can't tell them apart because they're in each other's land. And it says here, they shall call the people unto the mountain. There they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sand. Now the Aztec Empire, right? Actually, that sacrifice of righteousness, I believe that's going into how ties in with 2nd Ezra 13. When they first came over here, they were right. They had like right, with the offering and stuff like that. But after a while, they went left-handed with it. Right. But the abundance of the seas and the treasures hidden in the sand, that's going into like the gold. If you look at like the gold and the jewels around the Yucatan Peninsula where the Aztec dwelt, it's a lot of gold. That's why Esau went there, right? Esau got there and he knew about it. That's why they came over here. The Most High put that spirit on Esau to come here and to take everything from the Aztecs, which they did. And you can look it up too. Brothers can look it up, but the treasures in the sand. Right.
Yep.
I have something here too. This is historyonthenet.com. And I just looked up Maya merchants and traders. Let's see here. Maybe I'll read here and I might jump down a little bit, right? Great cities with large populations required food brought into markets. Most food was grown by farmers who lived outside the cities. However, what wasn't grown nearby had to be brought in via trade and tribute, right? Most foodstuffs were traded regionally or in local markets. And right, as we said before, the hidden stuff left in the sand, right? Luxury items, on the other hand, were most often involved in long-distance trading. So they had luxury items as well, right? Foodstuffs brought to the market included turkeys, ducks, which that's off, dogs, fish, honey, beans, and fruit. Cacao beans were used as currency, but also to make chocolate, a drink primarily enjoyed by also to make chocolate, a drink primarily enjoyed by the wealthy. Merchants traded cacao beans throughout Mesoamerica, not only in the Maya lands, but also to the Olmec, Zapotec, Aztecs, and elsewhere. All right, so the Aztecs and the Mayans traded with each other. All right, and the Aztecs are so-called Mexicans today, and your Mayans are your so-called Panamanians to Guatemalans in that Central American region. Merchants also traded in raw materials, including jade, copper, gold, like the brother mentioned, granite, marble, limestone, and wood, precious materials. Manufactured goods included textiles, especially embroidered clothing, feathered capes and headdresses, paper, furniture, jewelry, toys, and weapons. Specialists such as architects, mathematicians, scribes, and engineers sold their services at the market as well. Yeah, the tribes be doing the same thing today, man. Architects, we the same people. Textiles.
They also wear fringes too.
A
lot of like the Mexican clothing, they wear fringes. They wear fringes.
That's right.
They don't know it's like, it's crazy. What's that precept said that Gentiles do those things that are contained in the law? They're a law unto themselves. They don't really know they're Israelites, but they'll like have the habits of an Israelite. Like, for example, they abstain from eating pork. I don't want to eat pork. That's in the laws. Or they wear fringes. They don't know they're Israelites, but that's in the laws. And that's a donkey right there.
I believe the fringes?
That's a buffalo, right?
Yeah.
No, that's a donkey. But look at the
okay, it's coming in.
They got the fringes on the donkey.
With burdens. You see how I got 2 birds? It's carrying the 2 loads.
God.
That was heavy. The water for that, Yeshaya. That's heavy, man.
That's the spirit.
In the spirit, it's like we know that we Israel, but not according to knowledge. As the scriptures say, they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge, man.
God, I wanted to mention this. You mentioned, we are the same people. It says, if you look up who were the first cowboys, one of the ones that pop up, it says, was the first cowboys Mexican? It says, classic Westerns have cemented the image of cowboys as white Americans, but the first wave of horse-riding cow wranglers in North America were indigenous Mexican men. But right below it, it says, was the first cowboys a black cowboy? It says black men were among the first cowboys in the U.S. They roped, branded, and saddled up for cattle drives. Some gained fame, such as Bill Pickett and Nat Love. That's the same people.
That's
like
heavy. That's
Information,
that's the spirit. That's
Done.
beautiful fun. Beautiful
back
fun.
to brother. You know what they say too? They say un caballo. Tú eres un caballo, meaning a horse. They would say caballo. Tú eres trabajo duro, caballo, meaning a horse. Got that horse that drive. It's on caballo. Caballero, vámonos. That's how they.
Cowboys, vaqueros.
Yep.
The
Jacob.
vaquero culture in North America goes back as far as the 1680s. This was a time when the population was much smaller than life, and life was much different. Look closely at this image of a vaquero. You know, the cowboys. That's what they started that. You know, like the brothers mentioned earlier. Jake is the former of all things.
That's right.
Jacob as a people.
You also got some more so-called cowboys in the Matter of fact, never mind, because I don't want to jump the gun. But you know, all 12 tribes, you know, like we're very similar, man, in the way we behave. You know, I don't want to jump the gun.
You had don't forget the Aztec Empire had like kings and stuff like that. They had like a list of kings. I don't know which king was when
it's hard to pronounce their names, but
I know Moctezuma was one. Moctezuma from 1440 to 1469.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But I believe the Aztec
in the fall of the Aztec Empire, what you call it? Huh?
Nah, you got it.
No, I was saying in the fall of the Aztec Empire, you had other Jakes. Once again, going back to the curses, you had other Jakes working with the Spaniards to take down the Aztecs because they was forced to pay tributaries unto the Aztecs. You know, the Aztecs they was in a they was they was in a prime at the time. You know, it was a wicked prime, but you know they was in a prime at the time. So you had other natives, you had other Jakes help the Spaniards take down the Aztecs, man, and it was a brutal fall. It was a brutal fall. And then what did Esau do? Because that's why the scriptures say, "Never trust thine enemy, for his iron rusteth." So this is wickedness. Esau, the Spaniards turned around and took down the ones that that coincided and helped them, you know, and then what forced them into Catholicism, man, you know, and brought them Jesus Christ, Jesus Christi, you know.
I got something that says here: invaders led by the Spanish conquistador Hernan Cortez overthrew the Aztec Empire by force and captured Tenochtitlan in 1521, bringing an end to Mesoamerica's last great native civilization. Meso means middle America, Central America, middle.
Yep. Don. Yep. So there you go, man. Right. Esau came and attacked all the tribes, man. That's why we try to tell, you know, people out here like this is not a black thing, man. You know, we don't promote black culture. We have nothing to do with black culture. All 12 tribes got, you know what I'm saying, demolished in very similar fashions, man. You know. Brothers
and Israel were oppressed together. No, Judah and Israel were oppressed together. Jeremiah
15:33. Yep. The brothers ain't have anything else. Going back to Genesis 49 and 15, it says, "And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute." And that closes out Issachar.
I want to break that down too. We go. He saw that rest was good in the land that it was pleasant, right? So, by Issachar, when they first came down to America, they saw that this land was good, and they said, "All right, we're gonna dwell here." You know, of course, they have their own resources, right? Like, you know, like they don't get it twisted. America is a very like Central South America, very fertile land, and North America too. You know, even though these Edomites have been fucking it up and using so much resources and abusing the hell out of it. You know, them lands are fertile, man. You know, and bowed his shoulder to bear and became a servant unto tribute, right? And that happened when they were taken down by the Spanish.
Yep.
You know, they were taken down by the Spanish, and I just got like I said, I'm not going to bring out this article because the brother already mentioned it. You know, but you know, with all this, you had certain like Issachar would help out the Spanish to take down. Actually, no, I'm just gonna read the article, man, because I don't want to go off.
God,
You know, just read it real quick. You know, because I don't want to fuck up. www.mixcolor.co.uk. Right? Did the Aztecs ever fight against the Maya? Asked by Blackheath Preparatory School, chosen to answer by Professor Matthew Restall, and this was October 2017. No, not if by the Aztecs, we mean the Aztec Empire. Before the Spaniards came, there were Aztec garrisons in the Maya frontier, and very likely plans to attack, right? So we know the Mayans, right, was Zebulon, an Aztec, or Issachar, right? But then the Aztecs themselves were attacked by the Spaniards. As the Aztecs, they were planning to attack the Mayans because there was wars toward the Spanish arising, which that shows that was set up by the Lord. Now there was already infighting, and that was a symbol of the end. And Esau coming down here was just like, you know, tip the scales. Yeah. However, if by the Aztecs we can include surviving warriors from the regions of Mexico that were part of the Aztec Empire, then the answer is yes. All Spanish campaigns into Maya territories from the 1520s into the 1540s featured thousands of indigenous warriors who were once Aztec or Aztec subjects. The Spaniards could not have established colonies in Yucatan, in Guatemala, and Central America without the help of these Aztecs. All right. So you see here, the Aztecs were actually helping and fighting along the Spanish, man, to take down the Mayans, man. You know, over there in Central America.
Oh man, that's heavy. Yeah. So that's man. That's wicked as hell.
They bowed down into tribute, you know, literally. All right, we gonna help you.
So that means you had Mayans help take down the Aztecs, and Aztecs help take down the Mayans. That's wicked as hell, man. That's wicked as hell.
That's why Yahawashi was big on that brotherly love. That's why the spirit, we're back on, you know, the right path.
God. Hey, Jake is off his rocker right now, man. Jake is way off his rocker. You know.
Right. So brothers have anything to brothers don't have anything else to bring. I think that's pretty much it. You know, I mean, we gave you pretty much, you know, our piece of it. You know, we're not gonna bring out everything. You know, you got all these different historical websites, so many historical papers, so many pictures and things you can go watch. That'll give you many more information. But you know, we're not gonna do that, man. Give you a 10-hour video on Issachar and Zebulon, man. We ain't doing that, you know.
I got these 2 points though. I do got this right here highlighted. A screenshot I took a while back, and it reads. Let me see if it can zoom in. Now it reads. Let me see.
Yeah, just go ahead and read it because it's too blurry.
Only Mexicans could properly understand Aztec culture. It's those people, and then of course in Mexico they got these statues. Very iconic out there. Those Mexican sleeping statues, and you know, as it reads, Issachar saw that rest was good.
Yep,
little hints.
Good information.
Yep,
it's just through the spirit, you know, it's there. You know, the Lord has revealed it unto us, you know, through Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi. But of course, if brothers got anything else to mention.
Yeah, we're a conquered people, you know.
That's right. This is a nation robbed.
Go on and just hang in there, man, because you know, at least we know we got a deliverer.
God.
No, all the other nations, they ain't got nobody to deliver or save them, but at least we know we got one. You know, that's the good thing about it. But yeah, man, that's a curse, man. Even being overtaken and being a tributary, you know, by being a tributary to these devils, man, having to work every damn day, and I said, it's stressful on you, man. It gets stressful and it becomes burdensome to you. We could have went into more with Judah. We could have went into more details. Right? But what's the point? We did it all. We brought all that out. We brought all the basic information. Zebulon, Issachar. Could have went more into the curses, but I think the point is made. Was that it? Because we could have went also more into Deuteronomy 33. But Zebulon was the 6th, I believe. Zebulon was came out of Leah too. I believe so, just to mention that.
That's right.
Brother can wrap it up, close it up. Don't matter. You know.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that it? On
Yeah. That was it. I'll go ahead and close it out. All right. So Lord's willing, this was edifying to the hopeful elect. You know, want to say call HALALYAM La, Yahawah, BAHASHAM, Yahawashi, BAHASHAM, Qadash.
done. Wa barakathum.
Gone.
Wa kasanjum.